Schools across Arizona face many of the same hurdles related to funding and retention. Our next story looks at how one district in southern Arizona has managed to overcome those obstacles. Lorraine now takes us to Nogales.
All right, time. Were you able to speak about it for 35 seconds? How many of you said yes? How many of you know? Okay, this is why we're practicing.
This is honors English at Nogales High School.
Tell us about your favorite holiday. Ready, go.
Intense and fast-paced, today these students are tasked with delivering an efficient and effective speech.
I want you to get an idea of where you're at.
Elisa Lopez has taught at Nogales High School for 10 years. Every year, she crafts a curriculum that keeps students challenged.
One of our biggest things is our capstone project, which is the senior exhibition, and it is made up of 3 parts. We have them write an argumentative essay that gets sent to the U of A to get graded. Then they complete a portfolio and a presentation, which requires them to make, create, or do something as part of their project. So it's 20 hours of project, 5 hours of community service, and that's the biggest thing that takes over their senior year, but it's also something that will prepare them for the future. So we focus on just making sure that we are kind of aligning with what they will see at the university level so that they will be prepared once they leave our school.
It sounds rigorous. Do you hear from students that it's challenging?
We do, but I think what overpowers that is the feedback that we get from former students. I hear all the time about how beneficial it was for them to learn how to write a quality paper following the formats that they're using at their universities, and they come back and say, we took so long doing this and now I can do this in such a short amount of time where it doesn't even compare to how we did it in high school, but that helped me prepare to what we're doing now. So I think the fact that students are scared when we initially begin the school year, once they kind of figure out that we have a manual, we have a great support system, and we guide them through the process, that they realize that overall they end up being passionate about it rather than intimidated by it.
Are there safeguards in place to catch them should they fail?
Yes. So obviously if they're struggling or if they fail, then we would either ask them to go to summer school, but we try to prevent that. So we try to be proactive. So teachers, if they have students that are struggling, they will let us know. So I am the coordinator, but it's not the only person that they can turn to. They can turn to our department head or our admin, where we will intervene and say, okay, you're struggling with this. What can we do to help you? Can we find a different mentor? I offer evening tutoring sessions where I help them with their paper. We offer editing strategies. So we try to be proactive so that it doesn't get to the part where they might not pass at the end of the year.
That attitude and those support systems may be what makes the Nogales Unified School District so successful.
Our standards are high and the accountability is there.
That's Fernando Parra, a longtime teacher, principal, and now superintendent of the Nogales Unified School District. He's also an alumni of the Nogales school system.
Very high sense of pride, not only by the students, but a sense of pride of the parents and the community to make sure that we push the students to be successful and to follow through.
There are 10 schools in this border town. Of the nearly 6,000 students, 98% are Latino and nearly 40% live in poverty. But for decades, this district has boasted one of the highest graduation rates in the state. Across Arizona, high schools average about a 77% graduation rate. In Nogales, it's 98%, and it's been that way for years. Throughout the district, students have access to sports, clubs, and programs to ensure students know they're cared for.
We also have a monitoring system, an attendance follow through, that if a student is absent from school, we call the parents automatically, immediately, to see why the student was not at school. And so that goes from kindergarten all the way to the higher levels, to the graduation, to the high school, where students are monitored, their attendance every period. So if a student is off first, second period, the parents will get immediate contact right away, notifying them that they're not at school.
You know that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Are you suggesting that in a small town like this, it's harder to drop out of school because everyone knows where you are?
Exactly, and part of that is the partnership and the community and the parents, because the parents have a very high sense of value in education, and that is, I mean, the partnership that we have with parents. The parents are very involved, not only in the athletic programs, but they're involved in their education overall, and it makes a difference, and the parents are supportive of the programs that we have. Anything that we ask of the parents, they're there.
You've been in education for nearly 3 decades. One of the terms that is sort of emerging, I think, over the last few years has been social promotion. What do you say to people, who might be looking at this and saying, okay, the kids are there, they're enrolling, but are they getting anything from this education? Are they just graduating because they show up every day?
Well, I think that the measures that we've taken, I think not only are they graduating, but we've seen the results of the students that are accepted to higher education, which is a very high percentage as well. Students attending not only the state universities, they're attending our local college, community college, and they're also excelling beyond that. Just recently, 2 of our top students are going to Stanford University. They've been accepted to Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, you name it, our students are there. And they're not only there, they're actually top students at the university level as well. So we know that we're not only preparing them, just passing them through, they actually are being prepared to go to higher learning or the workforce if they choose to do so.
The district office sits in the former high school, a 100-year-old building. Photos of every graduating class line the walls, a symbol of success.
The perception of people from a border town is that you face different challenges than those in urban, more populated communities. You're a product of this community, of this school system. Would you say that students here face different challenges than other kids in the state of Arizona?
Growing up here in Nogales myself, we've always had a sense, a pride of being able to have a bicultural education, a bilingual education, be able to have the best of both worlds, living in ambos Nogales, as we call it, and being able to have that culture. I think I looked at it, and in my experience, it was an advantage being able to not only be bilingual, but be biliterate, because most of our students, by the time they finish high school, they can dominate 2 languages in English and Spanish. In this case, we're actually fortunate to be able to provide that.
Back in the classroom with Miss Lopez, also Nogales graduate, we get a sense of what makes this place so special.
If you were a teacher, what subject would you teach? And saying I would never be a teacher is not an option. What would you teach? Ready, set, go.
I asked the superintendent this, and I'll ask you, what makes this place so special? Because the numbers, the poverty rate, the graduation rates, by all indications, they shouldn't match where they are. So what's the secret to success here?
My single word would be love. The love for teaching from our teachers, the love and respect that we get from the students. It just builds a support system around these students and the parental involvement that all shows them that we love them and we want them to succeed. So I think the love that we show to our profession, to the students, to staff, to the community, I think that's what makes our place successful. Bye guys, see you tomorrow. Bye. You too.